I'm Alex Muir. I'll be giving the presentation on behalf of Kenorland Minerals. Kenorland Minerals is an exploration company. It was founded in 2016 by four geologists, Zach Flood, Scott Smits, David Stevenson, and Francis McDonald. We're focused on grassroots exploration in North America using the project generator model, and I'll get into that in the presentation. I'll quickly get the share structure and financial information out of the way. It's a very tightly held company, about 78 million shares outstanding, 93 million fully diluted. Our cash position is about $16 million. We've got equity investments of about 8 million, and we do generate revenue through our management fees on all the projects we operate. So last year we did about $5.5 million. We've got some very significant shareholders in the company, two of which are major mining companies, Sumitomo Metal Mining and Centerra Gold, each owning approximately 10% each. We also have four major Quebec-based funds that are shareholders, and the largest individual shareholder is John Tognetti, who owns about 14% of the company. So, as I mentioned, Kenorland Minerals is a grassroots exploration company. We may be one of the largest land claim holders in all the country. We've got about 2 million hectares plus in direct or indirect exposure to exploration in the portfolio. Our primary focus is in greenstone belts in Quebec and Ontario. We do have some projects in Manitoba and also in New Brunswick as well. The model, we try to farm out a lot of these projects. Sumitomo and Centerra are both current partners on some of our projects, including one I'll talk about in a moment. We've worked with Newmont, VRIC, Freeport, Antofagasta, and we've also got partnerships with a number of junior companies as well too. Through this model, we've been able to make a number of mineral discoveries, including one very prominent one, the Renault gold deposit at the Frotet project, which I'll talk about right now. So the Frotet project was originally staked back in 2017 by those four founders. They approached Sumitomo and entered into an option deal where Sumitomo earned 80% interest into the project. They made a high-grade gold discovery in 2020, took the company public, and today, or as of last month, we were proud to announce that we had an inferred resource of 2.5 million ounces at close to 5.5 grams per ton. So a major milestone there. Sumitomo is the 100% operator and owner of the project. Originally, we had a 20% stake. We converted that 20% stake to a 4% NSR royalty. So our royalty covers that whole claim area there. The project's in a great location. It's in Quebec. The Route du Nord is, basically right off the road of the deposit. There's transmission lines running through the project as well too. As I mentioned, we just announced the maiden mineral resource. It's 14.5 million tons at 5.47 grams per ton gold for an inferred resource of 2.5 million ounces, and that's with only 127,000 meters of drilling to date. It was done at a very low discovery cost of about $20 an ounce, and it's looking like this is going to be a multi-million ounce deposit. So, as I just said, only 127,000 meters of drilling. A big portion of the drilling wasn't included in the resource, so there's still that blue sky potential to add additional ounces, and I believe Sumitomo is going to continue doing that. They're already started drilling at the project this winter, and we're quite excited to see what's to come. As you can see, like for scale, we've got the CN Tower there. It's about 2 kilometers in strike, and we've got some drill holes to around 1,200, 1,300 meters of depth. So this is really a unique and exceptional gold deposit. In terms of catalysts coming up at Renault, as I mentioned, mineral resource has already been announced. Sumitomo is now the 100% owner and operator. They'll be continuing to do work on the project, including working towards an underground decline. There's a number of steps before they make that decision, and we anticipate, if everything goes well, to have that decision by 2028. This is just a graph showing some of the high-grade orogenic gold deposits in Quebec and Ontario. They are quite rare. We did a study showing that about less than 5% of the gold deposits in those provinces are greater than 5 grams per ton and greater than 1 million ounces. So as you can see, Renault on the initial resource is at about 2.5 million ounces. One particular project I like to point out is Windfall. Windfall, their initial resource was 1.6 million ounces after about 180,000 meters of drilling. So as you can see, these types of deposits continue to grow even while in production as well too. And so because we have a 4% royalty, it is quite an attractive asset to hold at the moment, especially what's been going on in the space. This is just a case study of one of our closest peers, Origin Royalties. They were recently acquired by Triple Flag last year, and for their Silicon royalty in Nevada, and then the rest of the portfolio was spun out. But this particular example is just highlighting, the amount of M&A activity that's going on in the sector and how competitive the royalty space really is. There was more M&A activity in 2025 than there were the previous 5 years combined. So it's a really unique and interesting sector. And with Kenorland holding a 4% NSR on a high-grade multi-million ounce deposit, it's exceptionally unique. The one other project I would like to touch on is the South Uchi project. So this was staked back in 2019. Kenorland's done about 5 years of work on this project. It's in the Red Lake District, about 90 kilometers east of the Great Bear project. We recently optioned this out to a private company called Oronova Resources, backed by Tom Obradovich, Chris Taylor, who is part of Great Bear, and another gentleman named Tim Young. They are currently trying to earn a 70% interest in that project. We would be left with a 30% carried interest to PEA. We also carved out a 2% uncapped NSR royalty on the project, and we own about 9.2 million shares of Oronova. I believe Oronova is anticipated to go public in the next month or so. So this slide here kind of shows an example of our systematic approach to exploration. As you can see, those little black dots are till sampling. So we go out typically on our projects and till sample the entire project and see if any anomalies light up. And in this case, there's a big 8 by 5 kilometer till anomaly, which attracted the attention of Oronova. There was widespread gold mineralization in bedrock. There was no previous gold occurrences and no previous drilling either. And over the past year, working with Oronova, we've confirmed a new gold system. So here's some of the recent drilling that we've done at the Paponga target. We've completed about 20,000 meters of drilling over the last year already. The phase 2 drilling assays will be out any day now. We're already planning a third drill program there up to the north of those black drill collars. And it's a developing discovery that's going on right there. So I think everybody should keep their eye on this particular project. And then to wrap things up, the share price has performed exceptionally well over the last 2 years. And I think, as the royalty space heats up, there'll be, as Frotet gets more de-risked, there'll be more value created within that royalty. And then there's all the other exploration in the portfolio. I only talked about 2 projects here. We've got, well over 20. So there's a lot of shots on goal within the portfolio. Stay tuned. Thank you for listening to my presentation.